Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Sugarcoat the podcast. I am your lovely host, Hayaat, if I do say so myself. And I'm here with a new guest, another boy. I know some people think that there's no boys allowed.
Right, is that the thing?
A couple people think that. I don't know how I gave that. Yeah. I haven't really slandered your gender too tough, but here we are, another man.
Hello, guys.
Yes.
Hello, what do you call your fans? Is it like the Sugarcoaters?
No, I haven't got that far.
You haven't got that far?
You're
on 200 now. You're a big deal. Not yet. You're getting there.
Not yet. We're getting
Hopefully by this you'll be on 200.
170 followers.
Listen,
so
guys, you need to
follow the Instagram.
Oh, come on, run it up.
Yep. Okay, so I'm here with the lovely Caleb. Do you do like a full name vibe? Because I know sometimes you change.
You could just do Caleb.
Just do Caleb.
Yeah, we can leave it as Caleb. I'm still kind of figuring out what I want it to be.
Okay.
It could be Caleb Kumiko, but I think we're just gonna go with Caleb for now.
Okay, cool. I kind of missed the directed by Kumiko
right?
though. I quite liked that.
It was long. It was too long.
I don't think so. I think it had a good little pizzazz.
I hear you, but when it's like telling people and then they have to type it all out, it's just like, you know.
Are they broken? Directed?
Some people are dyslexic and you have to allow for them.
Fair.
You just
but is that true though?
Are people dyslexic?
No.
You think people are lying about being dyslexic?
No, about having to allow for them. I swear we're all meant to just treat everyone
equally? Yeah, I'm treating them equally, so I'm just giving it an easy name.
But no, that's not treating them equally.
But also then people didn't know what my name was. People, because it said directed by Kumiko, people just it's are you Kumiko or are you Caleb? Because everyone's calling you Caleb. No one calls you Kumiko, so I'm just
move this closer to me. I should have done that before, but I just felt far away from you guys.
Is this a good distance? Because I'm talking this way, I'm thinking.
You are, I think. I don't know. No, I've been further away and it's been good. My cousin has no respect for me and my time.
Is your cousin calling you now?
She's trying to call me.
Aaliyah, do you know what time it is?
Aaliyah, I'm going to embarrass you on my podcast because I feel like you should know that I'm recording.
Do you know what's going on right now, Aaliyah?
It's so crazy. I'm going to leave this in the video. I'm recording my podcast right now and you've had to interrupt my flow.
Get a load of this guy.
Oh, okay, then get off my line. She can't even hear me. Okay, you're gonna see yourself on YouTube.
This absolutely stinks, guys.
All right, love you. Bye. Mwah. I'm gonna take her to Brian Jack after. Actually, I'll ask her.
Oh, you're doing that as well?
Yeah, I want to. That's why I asked you what you're doing after.
Oh, I went Brian Jack yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you go with Tia?
No, but I saw Tia there. I saw Tia and Luby. It was funny. I went with someone else. I walked and I was like, I was like, yo.
That is so funny. Wait, were you on a date?
No, I wasn't on a date. I wasn't on a date. It looked like a date though. I went with this older white woman. But it wasn't I promise you, it wasn't that. It was a friend from LA and she'd come down. It's her last day in London and she was like, all right, calm, I want to try some great food.
Who paid?
I paid.
Oh.
But I always pay.
Oh.
That's just me.
Oh, sorry, you feed those.
Listen, I tried, man. But and I walked in, I saw Tia, Luby, and Amelia, and they all looked at me just yo, and I was like, please, I pray no one thinks that this is me and this white woman's date. This
that
is just
so funny. I'm gonna tell her after. I'm gonna be like, oh my god, did you see Caleb on his date?
No, don't. It's not even that. We need to clear the rumors though. If you saw me at Baron Jack, it wasn't that. It wasn't that thing. That's my brethren. She's cool.
Okay, cool.
She's definitely mid-30s as well.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, all this time we've gone and we haven't even introduced you. So, Mr. Kumiko. Let's start with our 2 fun facts.
My 2 fun facts?
So I have segments and my segment names are failed podcast names.
Okay.
So this segment is normally called 2 Truths, No Lies. It wasn't going to be the best podcast name, right?
No.
It would have been
Are these your failed podcast names?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought it might be general ones.
No.
Okay.
I had a list and I was like, well, I've made all this effort. I might as well fucking do something with them.
I hear it.
So 2 Truths, No Lies, 2 fun facts about my guest of the week.
Okay.
So...
Do you have to do a lie in there as well?
No, just 2 truths, no lies. I hate when people do this.
Sorry,
I had someone, on an episode that I didn't release. You came and he gave me 2 truths and a lie, and I said, "Bro, are you not listening to me? Are you listening to me or not?"
Listen, the way you said it is just
no lies.
Okay, no lies. 2 truths, no lies. 2 truths. I'm trying to think what's the most interesting one. Okay, 1 truth is I swam for the Zambian national team. When I was how old was I? 12, 13. And the second truth is that I've never watched Harry Potter. Ever.
Not a single film?
Not a single one.
No.
Not a single one.
No.
From the household that I grew up in.
That was never gonna
witchcraft could run in there? There was too many conspiracy theories. I couldn't watch that at all. And when I got older, it was just the time had passed. I was just like, fuck it, there's no point.
Nah, we're gonna make that happen.
But I understand the premise of it, Dumbledore and them, man.
And then the
obviously Espelio, and then my man, the Voldemort.
And then there was a beef. No nose and a child. And
exactly.
Beef.
And then he had a little thing.
Exactly.
Was it a Horcrux thing?
Yeah.
And then like
they went through that wall.
Through the thing, and then they both did the Expelliarmus thing to each other.
Yeah, trains.
And then there was trains. There was a little ginger thing.
Yeah.
And
there was multiple actually.
And there was a little freeway thing going on.
Yeah.
But then Harry apparently did a thing with my man's sister.
Yeah.
And then my man did something with my girl. Best and then it was and then they all gone up and have terrible acting careers. They failed Wonder Kids. They did terribly after that. I haven't seen a single movie from them niggas. Am I allowed to?
You are, man. You know me.
Okay,
come on.
I ain't seen nothing from them niggas. What's my man doing run?
I have no idea.
We don't know, fam.
But the other Hermione is doing all right.
What's she doing?
I don't know, but she's doing things.
Yeah, she's bit.
In that light.
I ain't seen her do nothing for a minute.
Okay, but Daniel Radcliffe was in some other witchcraft thing.
Another witchcraft thing.
He loves it.
He's in his own world. He's in his own zone. Yeah, he needs to get out of that little thing.
We need to pray for him.
Yeah,
I mean,
they didn't do that great, man.
Okay, cool.
But those are my two truths.
Okay. Well, we're gonna fix that. The last one. Yeah. I mean, the Zambian national one. That's cool.
Listen, it's just a part. It's part of my life.
It's just a part of your life. Do you still swim?
No, but like I might get back into it. Not like professionally, but I might just on a fitness thing. Okay. Like I'm back in my fitness bag. As you know, I just went gym, did leg day. So like my bum's a bit sore. I can't lie. Yeah. It's a bit like I'm sitting a little different because it's just a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
Allow me, man.
Okay. And now, do you want to introduce yourself? What do you do? Because one thing we've realised, I've actually known Caleb probably longer than I've known everybody else.
That was gonna be one of my fun facts. I was like, it was gonna be that I've known you for about like 7 years.
Yeah, that was this really been ages. I've known him since sixth form, but all now I don't really know what he does. Like,
girl, I know my mum.
No, like I know if you guys know Caleb, he did Bad Canteen, right?
Yeah.
So a popular YouTube show. I remember that from back in the day.
Yeah.
Now I was asking him questions like, oh yeah, do you know how to do this stuff? I was like, no. I was thinking, well, isn't that your job?
This ain't my forte.
Is that not your job? So yeah, do you want to explain that?
What do I do?
What do you do?
Not to be one of those people, but I do a lot of different things. Like my main thing is directing. So like I started out doing music videos and then got into...
Quick question, who was your first music video?
My first music video was for an artist called Joy Crooks. That was my first music video-ish.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think so.
She's pretty big now, so wait, did you do that because you were friends?
Yeah, we were friends. Okay, she was one of the first people I ever met in this industry. Like about 6 years ago.
Yeah, fair.
And I think she had one song out at that point when I met her. And then we just like we had a little group that were all like sort of just doing different stuff. Some people were actors, singers. I was the video photography guy. So directing, mostly in advertising now. I also run two production companies. A bit of presenting, if you can call it that.
Wait, what happened to Vibba?
Vibba's still about. They're still doing stuff.
Are you not still in it?
I was in Vibba for a minute. I'm not in Vibba anymore.
What were you doing for it?
I was doing all their video stuff.
Oh, okay, cool. Because I was thinking you didn't do the music for it.
No,
I know that for a fact.
Why do you know that for a fact? You think I can't? Listen. I got in the booth a couple times. You never know what I laid down, man.
Okay.
Yeah, but they didn't release nothing. But,
for a good reason. Yeah.
What? Okay, so how you're moving today?
Yeah.
I was doing video stuff for them. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh, presenting. I do a little bit of presenting.
What presenting stuff do you do now?
I mean, I'm on Filthy Fella sometimes. If you can call that presenting, I don't know. It's kind of a podcast in itself. So I wouldn't really put it out there. And then there's a couple things that I can't necessarily talk about that are in the presenting lane.
And that.
And then producing.
Yeah.
Not like music producing, but as in like...
Thank God.
Yes. What's up with you and with me in the music industry?
You give musically challenged vibes.
Musically challenged?
I can't imagine you.
I should have brought out the fun facts where like I used to be I used to play the drums.
The choir. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I used to lead the choir at church. Like, you know the ones there. Like I was the guy. Like don't, just because I could do a little. Don't let me sing on your podcast. It'll be long. I used to. You keep throwing me from.
Sorry.
What was I saying?
Producing.
Yeah, producing. Producing. I did a Farfetch campaign this year.
Very cool.
Which was one of the biggest things that I had to produce, which is probably the most stressful job I've ever done in my life. Really? But we don't have to talk about that.
Okay.
And then writing.
Okay.
Yeah. Screenwriting, doing poems every now and then.
And are these things that you share with the world, your screenwriting stuff?
I'm currently writing a TV show.
Oh, sick.
And then I've written a short film.
This is sick.
Yeah, and then like my screenwriting in that sense, like I'm in my screenwriting bag at the moment. And then my poetry, I don't really like. I mean, I've been published a couple times. Like I think 4 times I've been published, but it's not really something that I'm trying to
share. It's more for you.
Yeah, it's more so for myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Okay, cool. So what made you begin to how did you decide, okay, cool, I want to get into this media world? Like, what made you start pursuing it, all of that jazz?
I think it was so foreign to me, and I always had like an interest-ish into that world. But like my main bag was like writing. I was always like into my writing from like a kid. And then I think when I went off to sixth form, it was that whole pressure of just like, yo, you gotta pick something to do. And I was thinking, brother, what? I don't know what I want to study at uni, so I don't know what subjects to pick.
So wait, what A-levels did you start with?
Oh my gosh. I did biology, Spanish, history, psychology.
Yeah.
Nothing's linking. Nothing is linking within it at all. The closest link is biology and psychology, maybe.
Yeah.
But apart from that, everything is all over the place.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, let me just go broad.
What sixth form did you go to, if you don't mind me asking?
All right. So I went to Harris Crystal Palace. And you see that face? But do you know the reason why I actually went there? I actually wasn't supposed to go there. I was supposed to go to another one called, I think it's called like Buller's Wood or something like that.
Yeah. And
basically my boy was going to Harris.
So you did follow fashion.
And the thing is, like, I went first to a boys, innit? And what we knew was Harris Crystal Palace, there's things there. There are things there.
You're not serious.
I said, what? You want me to go to this other thing where I don't even know anyone? And there's things
You're not serious.
So what I did, there was a train that was going towards like, what's it called? Towards where Buller's Wood was. And there was a train that was going towards Crystal Palace. And I said, whatever train comes first, that's the place I'm going. I remember
you telling me this.
Yeah, and then I just jumped, and the Crystal Palace one came first. Went to Crystal Palace. The fact that I came home, my mum was just like, how was Buller's Wood? And I was like, how was he? I said, yeah, you know, I started my whole thing at a new thing. And she was just like, excuse me? She's like, no, you're going to that school. And I was like, no, I can't lie. Like, this is me now.
So how did that go? Like, because you're giving, like, part of you, from what I know, is that your family have very strict values, strict this, strict that. But then you were doing a mad thing.
Oh, I was doing my own thing.
Like, you just thought, fuck the whole thing. Like, I remember when I was in uni and you were telling me about how you started your career, and I was thinking, what the fuck?
Yeah,
like,
they were not pleased, man. Because, like, yeah.
But it takes serious balls, though.
Yeah, but I feel like for me, I'm someone who definitely, like, if I feel unsettled, like, I'm not going to stay where I am. Like, I'm going to move into wherever I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So there was definitely a part of me that was like, yo, like, when I was at sixth form, and I was just like, I don't know what I want to do, and doing all these random subjects, and it feels a bit mad. I was just like, why am I here? And like every day became like a why am I here thing.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I think I'm just gonna.
How long did you last?
I lasted a year.
That's way longer than I expected of you.
In sixth form, I lasted a year. I did the whole year. I did the full year.
Yeah.
I did that.
Got some
exams.
AS levels.
I got some AS levels.
Did you pass any?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Yeah.
I got some AS levels, and then it was just like, but I was not turning up to school. Like, I had the worst attendance. Like, they had a meeting with my parents and said, this boy has the worst attendance in the history of the school. Like, and they started bringing out files and being like, I was like, yo, I can't. It was 2 hours from my yard as well.
What were you doing in the day?
I would just wake up late, go there, and then like I would leave whenever I wanted and just like not come back.
And then do what with your day?
Go to work.
Where were you working?
I was lifeguarding in Barbican.
Oh.
I was a lifeguard.
So you would just leave school and be like, fuck it, let me go lifeguard.
Yeah, and then like teachers would try to do the whole thing, just like, you can't leave now, because they started to catch on. They're like, you can't leave. If you leave, you're going to be in detention. I was like, all right, cool, see you in detention. I'll just leave. I was just like,
so wait, if you weren't even staying for the full school day, why would they think that you would stay for detention?
I don't know. They just thought if they threatened me that I would feel a type of way.
Well done for them for not kicking you out. Oh, that's actually pretty good of them.
Yeah.
A lot of schools would be like, fuck it, we're going to take our average down and we just get rid of
But you know what? Like,
especially in South.
I was a good student.
Okay.
In terms of like, I was good at...
What did you get for your AS levels?
Listen, when I said I was a good student, as in, let me rephrase, like the teachers liked me. Like the teachers actually, did the teachers like that? They actually didn't fuck with me too tough. I was kind of rude to them. I got C's.
Okay. Well, at least you passed.
I passed.
Yeah.
I passed. And then I was just like, I'm out of here.
Okay, fine.
Like there was a switch where I feel like I think there was one night where I watched a YouTube video on like directing, and I never looked into directing at all, and I was like, oh my gosh, it just clicked for me, because I was they were like making us apply for unis and like see what courses you want to apply for. I was about to do fashion something. I was gonna do something in fashion. I had a fashion blog actually with one friend from secondary school.
Really?
Yeah, so I had a fashion blog at the time, but I wasn't into fashion like that. He was into fashion.
Yeah, I mean, you like, you dress well. Yeah. I would say you give that, but I can't imagine you like being that invested.
Nah, but he was in it, and I was thinking, you know what, I'm in the world now. Like,
yeah.
We were getting some views online and stuff like that. I was thinking, you know what, let me like, maybe this is the path that I'm going down. And then like I had a friend who was starting up a modeling agency, and I helped her start it up. So I was thinking, maybe this is my route. This is the direction I'm going in. And then I don't know, I watched this directing thing, and it was breaking down this director, this old Russian guy called Andrei Tarkovsky. And when I saw that, I was just like, this is the thing that I've been looking for. It's like it's the storytelling in which is like I love, which is like writing and just being able to tell stories, but doing that, and like also the visual aspect of it, and just like all the aspects of storytelling, how sound integrates into that, and how like images integrate into that, and how like lighting integrates into that. Like, and I was just like, oh, all these things come together to like tell the story. This is it. And as soon as that happened and it clicked for me, I was like, yeah, I'm leaving.
Okay. And then storytelling in particular, what is it that draws you to that as a person? Like, do you think there's like a deeper motivation to it, or what? I
don't know. Like, I feel like it's the phrase that my life's a movie's overused, but like the things that I've actually been through and the like things that I've experienced, I don't know, like I have so much to draw from. And I've just always been like, when I was younger, I was so imaginative. So my mind was always just like on creating different stories, and just like, I don't know, writing was always something I was drawn to, and like, and I used to read a ton. Like, so I used to read. You didn't want to join my book club? You have a book club? Yeah. When I said I used to read, yeah. I haven't read a book in I don't know how long now. Yeah. But yeah, I used to read bare, so like I was proper, and non-fiction mostly. Non-fiction? No, fiction. I lied. Fiction is the one where it's made up stuff. Yeah. You see, I haven't read in a while. I don't know why I was even saying yeah. You just chatting. I used to read like fiction all the time, and so I was just like, I used to have a mad imagination, and I guess that's where the storytelling sort of thing came from. And my dad used to write as well. Like, he was mad into that shit. So like, as soon as like I got into that world and I realized like this is my path, I was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna buy a camera. I'm gonna figure out to use this, and I'm dropping out of school. And obviously that was not a comfortable conversation to have.
How did that go?
I dropped out, and I told the teacher, and I had to lie, because I think at this point
you needed
permission to leave, because you needed to like, I think you had to show that you were still doing like an extra year of like an apprenticeship or something like that. So I had a friend who like offered me an apprenticeship. I didn't get it. I thought I was going to get it, didn't get it. But I just lied to the school saying that I got it.
Yeah.
And they were just like, we're going to check up to see if you got it. I was like, yeah, do whatever. And they didn't, because it's Harris and their shit. Yeah. But like, I just dropped out, and my parents were just like, go back the next day and reapply. And I was like, no. And they were just like, we're dropping you off at school the next day to reapply. And I was like, you're not doing that. And it became like, it was, me and my parents did not talk for a minute, you know.
How long?
I want to say a good 6 months.
Fucking hell.
Like, from...
Did they feed you?
I used to feed myself. Okay. I had a job. Oh, I lost my job shortly after that as well, actually. But at the time I had a job, and I was just like, you know what, I have money, like, I don't need... They stopped paying for stuff for me for like time. So like, I would just come home, go to my room, like do whatever, and I come home late as well. Like,
you're a gangbanger.
Oh my gosh! Oh, my mum thought I was doing everything. She used to come home and smell my jacket and be like, "This smells like weed," and I used to be like, I'm not smoking weed.
Yeah, and the peak thing is, I know it was your friends and it wasn't
exactly.
you.
They're all smoking it and they're smoking me, and they're thinking, my parents thinking raw, like,
ropes.
Yeah, they're like, he's selling drugs, he's doing this, he's doing that. All these times I'm just networking with people that smoke weed, but like their heads were like everywhere. And they're like, yeah, we've lost our son.
Nah, do you know what? It's actually funny because I have had that experience, but in the opposite way, where like after uni, I declined my grad job. I don't think till this day my mom's forgiven me. I had a banking tech grad job there. It was in Northampton, but still I had that there.
Northampton,
said no. I don't know, like who the fuck wants to live there? No offense.
My sister actually moved there.
Sorry about that. But so she to this day I don't think has forgiven me. Like at the start when I'm going out loads and you're trying to network and like meet people in the industry, whatever, she legit accused me of being an escort. She's like, is this what you're doing? She said, I've wasted my time taking you to tutors, taking you to your childminders, picking you up, doing this and doing that for you to come home. I designed to be a slag.
Oh my gosh. Wait, modeling is your main thing now, right?
Yeah.
You see, this is mad because I feel like lots of people don't know that like Hayaat is like a proper smart girl, you know? Like a proper smart girl. Like when I met you, you were a nerd, you know? Like you were a proper neek. You were such a neek. When I met you, you were though.
No, but the
you proper were though.
Wallahi, I never did nothing.
Don't even wallahi, you weren't like anything.
Because
you knew you were a neek.
I just liked school.
No.
Like, in terms of
I liked school.
I did. I loved my subjects. I did physics, English, and maths, and I loved all of it, and I was fucking sick at it.
Yeah, of course, because you were a nerd, didn't it?
But I wasn't a nerd.
Embrace it, man. Embrace it. No, you were a bit of a neek.
In terms of the people from my school.
No, you were a bit of a neek. Your brethren were kind of neeks.
Yeah, that's fine. They were.
Yeah,
they were.
You
but
were
I
part.
wasn't.
Don't say your brethren were neeks and you weren't a neek.
No, because I wasn't. Because I actually had a social life outside of that.
Oh, because you had you were a sociable neek. All right. Cool.
Yeah, fuck it then. I'll be a sociable neek. But at least I was turning up. I was shaking after the weekend.
It's not bad to be a nerd,
I know,
you know.
but it's just not correct.
No, but it is correct.
It's not correct.
All right, you were a bookworm.
I don't even think that's true.
Okay, you're in your you're smart.
Yeah.
And you're on your studying, and you're on like, listen, when it comes to me revising, like I'm revising, I'm actually working, like don't disrupt me. Yeah, you're a nerd. Yeah, you're them niggas who are like, hi, what's the answer? Just like, no.
That's actually not okay.
No. Revise for yourself. You should have read.
You should have done your work.
Yeah, we could not copy homework on you in school, fam. You're one of those people.
Wow, okay.
Nah, you just like, I don't think people know this. I think now people just like, oh, model Hayaat, like, yeah, so carefree, she just does what she wants. Nah, she was like, she's a proper smart girl. Don't let her give this impression that like, yeah, nah,
you're ruining my bimbo vibe.
All of this all just like, I'm so aloof, I don't really know what's going on. Mandem, don't get collapsed. She's smart. She's looked through all. She knows how much money you make. Like, it's long for you, man. It's long.
I'm so sorry.
She's addressed all of this before.
That's such a common misconception.
What do you mean misconception?
Listen,
so you're telling me before you link up with a man, you don't know how much he makes?
No.
Do you care how much he makes?
Me? Yeah. Oh wait. The reason why I'm gonna say that's not even necessarily true because men can have money and they're not gonna spend it on me.
Okay.
So I'm very materialistic, but a lot of people approach me. Do they have materials? No, they don't. So I don't feel like that's a deciding factor.
So you're saying that men don't have the materials to date you? but the men that you do date have to have like some sort of, you know, they don't.
No, so I've dated many a broke man.
And you would still that's
a lie. I'm just lying
for no reason.
I'm lying for free. I've dated like one or two.
When?
In 6 months.
Oh, get out of here, man.
In uni?
Yeah, when you were a neek.
No.
Since you've been a model,
I was a model also in uni. Yes.
Since you've been a like getting regular work model, have you dated a broke boy? No, you haven't. All right.
No.
Moving on. Next subject. What's the next failed podcast name? what's the next
You're
one?
pissing me off. Okay. No. Okay. Well, the next one, it was gonna. I normally have like a pop culture section.
Okay.
Where like you kind of speak about what's going on in the world, and you kind of do a right or wrong, wherever you think if people are right or in the wrong.
Okay.
Or a sugar-free where you discuss honestly your opinions about things, and it was going to be the Kanye one, but I feel like you're not the most enthusiastic about Kanye.
I'm not the most enthusiastic about any celebrity.
Fair. And I feel like with all this stuff going on, I'm not going to speak on him. Who cares?
How do you feel?
Well, do you know what? It's so peak because I legit, like, my episode before the last one, I hopped on this podcast in this chair and I said, I love Kanye. It doesn't matter what he does, I'm always going to love him. And then he's done a mountain. Why did he embarrass me?
Yeah, it's long.
He embarrassed me like that. Yeah. It was really peak. From the White Lives Matter thing, I said,
from
the White Lives Matter t-shirt, my heart broke. I said, really? Yay? And then everything else that went on afterwards, listen, we don't condone any anti-Semitism. He's obviously apologised for his comments, but I can't give my opinion on this no more because...
It's long for you. You might just put yourself in a hole.
I won't put myself in a hole, really. I just don't want to go too hard, like, berating someone who has had a history of mental health issues, who I think is making these, like, comments and interviews not in the best state. I think he's also being... I just don't think it's ethically correct for people to be putting a microphone in his face and letting him spew all of that shit, knowing that the repercussions or whatever. And he seems to be quite manic. So I don't know what's going on. I'm not going to speak on it. You know. You
see how politically correct that Hayaat wasn't answering that question. You see, this is how you know she's a smart girl. She swerved having to like take accountability for any sort of anything, fam. She's just like, you know what? I'm not trying to get myself, I'm not trying to ruin my bag.
Why would I take accountability for something a 40-year-old black man said?
Listen, I'm just saying, like, you didn't, I'm not going to stand at any point. I'm just going to like hit the thing, like very vaguely, and then just move out. Just going to say a lot of nothing that sounds like something.
I said what I condemned.
All right.
I said my sentiment. That's it. No one come for me. So, bad Canteen. That's where we're going to start.
Oh, Lord.
I know. Okay, why oh, Lord? Because I know Kyra. Do they still exist?
Potentially.
What's the tea? Give us the tea.
What's the tea?
What's the tea?
Oh, man. What do you want to know?
Everything. I want to know the best. I want to know the drums. I want to know if it was good. I want to know if it was bad. I want to know who you still speak to. I want to know it all.
Oh, yikes. Oh, shit. Okay. Obviously, I got the job. When was this? 2000 and... When the hell was the show? 2000. I want to say 17. 2017. Okay. I got the show.
Okay.
And it's too long explaining how I got it, but it was a Facebook ad. I went through an audition process. I won. Okay. I kind of knew I was gonna win. I can't lie. Like everyone else that was auditioning was pretty dead.
Okay. How did you find out about it?
As I said, it was a Facebook ad.
Oh, okay.
I had no idea what Kyra was. I'd never seen PAQ in my entire life.
I realised, like, PAQ is something that I've seen in passing, but I never connected the dots that it was Shaq.
Yeah.
Until, like, one day we were in Peckham and people started coming up to us and I was thinking, whoa, what's happening here? Like,
yeah.
And they're like, oh my God, we're big fans. I was like, what are they a fan of? Like, explain it to me. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, like, I didn't know what PAQ was at all.
So PAQ had started before Bad Canteen?
Yeah. PAQ was the first show. And then they were starting a show called Greatness. And then... That's an
annoying name.
Yeah, it's what it is. They were trying to find greatness in different parts of the world.
Okay.
And it was a travel show. And then Bad Canteen was going to be the third show. And so I had applied online because long story short, I went to Italy to assist a big director at the time. Oh, he's still a big director.
Like Como?
No, I didn't go to Como.
Oh.
I went to Rome.
Okay. I thought this was your Como story.
No. Different story. That was after Back Canteen. But I went to assist the master director and he was like, I was asking him for advice on directing. He was like, you should be in front of the camera. He was like, you should do some stuff in front of the camera. It will help you work with actors better. So I was like, okay, let me look for something in front of the camera. And then 4 a.m. one night, I'm scrolling through Facebook for some reason. It was 2018. And it was like one of those times at that point I still wasn't really on Facebook, so like, fuck it. I was going through and I saw this ad come up, like looking for young actors / presenters for a new show on this new channel. I was like, ugh, this looks corny as fuck. Scrolled past it, came up again. I was like, why does this thing keep coming up? Scroll past it again, and then like it just popped up again. I was like, maybe this is a sign. Like, let me look at it, clicked on it, and I was just like, okay, and it was asking me some questions like, how good of a cook are you? And I was like, all right, cool, like, I'm pretty good. Put it down, and then like, audition process, went through another one, had to do like some self-tapes and stuff. And then, yeah, finally got the job. And then they put us all in the room. It was me, Damshak, Tia, Jordan, Helen, Scott. And and they were just like, this is the team. I was like, cool. And when I started, they were just like, all right, cool, here's the first 4 episodes. And I think the first episode was like, all right, you guys want to go around to different places and look for like your HQ, your hub. You're going to get that hub. And it's going to be like this back cave situation. It's going to be sick. We're going to do it up. You're going to have like a beautiful cooking station. And then the second episode is going to be like you doing that up. Third episode is going to be like you guys going foraging in Wales. Like, and you're going to like learn how to like pick stuff off the land and like cook it with this some random guy and learn how to do that stuff. And you're going to come back in the 4th episode and have a cook-off with the skills that you've learned. And I'm thinking, wow, this is kind of sick. Like, it's following a narrative. Like, you kind of see us like grow and learn little things and then like reintroduce that back into our habit. Like, cool. And then from episode 1, I feel like things just went downhill from then. Like episode 1 was cool. Like
they sold you gold covered shit.
Yeah, basically they didn't really think through like the cost of living crisis even back in 2018 because they were like, all right,
nowhere
cool.
near as bad as it is now. Yeah,
exactly. They were like, we're gonna find you an HQ. It's gonna be so sick. It's gonna be slick. And they were showing us pictures of what it could look like. And then they started to look at actual places that we could get, and they're like, oh, like it's really hard to find somewhere in our price budget. And they're just like, we're gonna have to like really think about this now. But they've committed now to doing this, so they're just like, fuck, what do we do? So they ended up getting this rundown, like when I tell you the most disgusting like chicken and chip shop.
Yeah, because I've seen one of the episodes. I think where you guys are making mac and cheese.
Yeah,
is that the kitchen?
That's not the kitchen.
Oh, okay, because that one also didn't.
It was a separate kitchen that we couldn't even. I think we used it once or twice. Like it was so bad. Like we got there. There was like, it's like the people had ran out of there. There was like underwear like on the counter. There was like drawers filled with like food that had been...
What chicken shop?
This was in Woolwich somewhere. Okay. But it's no longer a chicken shop.
It's not like Mully's or something?
No, it wasn't a chicken shop. Cool. But like, it was filled... The drawers were filled with like gone-off kebab and stuff like that. Like, there was mold everywhere. Like, you open the fridge and it stunk. I didn't know what was in there. Like, there were like dead mice. There was like... It was the most horrific thing ever.
Yeah.
And what we thought was, all right, cool. We're going to like pretend to clean it. And then, like, they're going to get people to actually clean it.
And they did.
Movie magic. No, we had to literally go in there every single day and, like, scrub and clean that place, like, ourselves. Like, we were literally doing manual labor, like, properly.
And they didn't even pay you extra for that?
Like, no. It's just a normal, like, day rate that we're getting paid. And we weren't getting paid that much.
Do you feel like they exploited you guys because you didn't have industry knowledge?
100,000%.
What would you do differently?
Oh, I would definitely ask for more money.
Yeah.
But to be fair, us and PAQ... we were all getting underpaid. And PAQ was hella popular at the time. Yeah. And they weren't getting paid, like, I think the same amount that we were getting paid, which was, I'm pretty sure, if I can remember correctly, was £100 a day.
Fucking hell.
Which was not a lot for the amount of work that we're doing and the amount that we're bringing back to Kyra. Anyway, after that, they changed our director. They gave us a PAQ director who didn't want to be on our show. He wanted to be on PAQ. He changed the way that we did the show altogether. It stopped this whole journey of us like learning things. He was like, fuck that. We're doing competitions and we're doing like tastings and stuff like that. You're going to go out and just taste random shit and just like comment on it. And it just became like another generic food channel. And then, long story, like it kept on going on and we were kind of like, this is kind of, I don't know. They dropped Greatness. So it just became PAQ and Bad Canteen. And then I think it was when was this? I think it was in January. They were just like, obviously there's 6 of us. And Shaq told me, damn Shaq was just like, yo, they're not going to tell you this, but 3 of us are going to LA and the other 3 of you guys are staying here.
So you said you guys who knew.
I was just like, who's the 3? He was like, it's me, Scott and Tia. And I was thinking, Ross, so they're leaving me, Helen and Jordan, like, yo, like, what are we going to be doing over here? And they're like, bro, they told me not to tell you, but I felt like I had to tell you. So I was like, calm. So next day, I go straight in the office. Walk in there, and luckily, I didn't have to necessarily confront them because one of the guys came up to me, and he was just like, yo, let me have a chat with you. And he was like, all right, cool. And he was just like, listen, 3 of the people are going to LA. We might try and fly one of you guys out there afterwards, but what we're going to do is, like, whilst they're in LA, you guys are going to be doing episodes over here. And you, Caleb, are going to be like leading out those episodes. So like we have Tory Lanez coming. We got Billie Eilish coming. Like we got like some big people coming to London. No. Okay. Billie Eilish did come, but like Tory Lanez did not come. And there was a couple other people that like, we have all these people lined up on all these episodes. We're going to have this in London and they're going to do stuff. And it's going to be like, oh, we're in LA, next episode reporting back to London. And then you guys are going to do your episode and back and forth. And I'm thinking, okay, all right, maybe this could be cool. And then like the last week, we're going to try and fly you guys out to LA and you guys do like a joint week there. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, cool. So they're in LA and I'm thinking, I'm a bit jealous. I'm a bit like, raw.
I'm not even a bit, I'll be mad jealous. I'll be fucking fuming.
Never been to LA before and I'm thinking, raw,
I'll be fuming. And also, I feel like we need to destigmatize jealousy. Like jealousy is a normal emotion. It's not that deep. Like, you're allowed to feel jealous. It's just an indication that you want what somebody else is doing. It's just what you do with it. Do you know what I mean? As long as you're not doing backflips in your room and banging judge on them, it's all good.
Yeah, no, there was no judge. There was no voodoo dolls either. Like,
praise God.
There wasn't hate. Yeah. It was just jealousy. Yeah. Like, and I was just like, rah, these man. And the thing is, I would call them up, like, to be like, oh, how's it going? And I wouldn't get any reply. No one would pick up the phone. I'm thinking, bro, like, these man really just like, they're not even trying to, fam, they're not even trying to shout, innit? Just be like, yo, yeah, it's been good. Like, I was like, bro, you guys are actually taking the piss.
Yeah.
So I was just like, nah, you man, my heart started to like, and the thing is, it went like a week went by, and imagine like, they've done like episode after episode after episode in LA. Haven't heard a single thing about like us back in the UK. I'm thinking, yo, guys, like, when are we filming? They're like, oh yeah, soon. I'm thinking, when soon? A week and a half went by, and I'm thinking, brother, all now, no one's hit me up. And I randomly got a message being like, yo, Caleb, are you free to fly out on, I think this was like a Monday, are you free to fly out on Saturday? I was like, to LA? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I think I could be. And he's like, all right, cool. Cool, just like prepare yourself for that, blah, blah, give me your passport details, blah, blah. I was like, cool. And then I was like, I was speaking to my other guy, I used to work for Nike, and they were like, yo, did they sort out an ESTA for you? And I was like, what's an ESTA? And they're like, oh, you need like a visa thing. And I hit them up and like, yo, what about my ESTA? And they're like, oh yeah, apply for that. And I was like, you guys are so unorganized. So I was like, I applied for it, and I'm thinking it's gonna take like couple,
it's quick.
Like, but it came like the next day.
Yeah,
so
it's
I
like
get
£12.
Yeah. I think I got it on. So I applied for it like Monday night, and I think I got it Wednesday morning. I saw that I got it. I was like, all right, cool. I got my ESTA, and they're like, oh, great. Could you fly on Friday potentially? And I was just like, yeah. And I'm thinking, why is this happening?
Like...
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I can fly on Friday. And they're like, cool. Yeah, we'll book you in for Friday. And then like an hour later, I was just like, could you fly tomorrow? And I was just like, what's going on? Like 1 p.m. tomorrow, could you fly? And best believe this is like 9 p.m. the night before. And I'm thinking, I mean, I'd have to like fucking like quick pack and whatever. I'll be there for how long? Like a week and a half. Like, yeah, sure. And I was like, all right, cool. They put me on a flight. I go, and they're like, okay, when you land, like, you like, we'll sort out like someone to pick you up or whatever, but like you have to come to the house and be quiet. And I'm thinking, okay, cool. So I land, and I'm just like, oh, I'm in LA. They're like, don't post anything, blah blah. I'm thinking, cool. No one picks me up. They're like, oh, just order an Uber. Best believe, like, I'm still broke at these times.
The Ubers are expensive.
Like, it was about like a $80 Uber. Take the Uber, and I'm just like, all right, cool. Get to the place, and they're like, all right, shh. Get into the house. Hide me for 2 hours. No food, no drink. I'm just like waiting there.
Not even soft drink
and they're like, no, nothing. And they're like, all right, cool. They gave me a bottle of water actually, and they're like, they're like, we have to wait for the guys to get back so you can surprise them. I went back. I go down, blah, blah, surprise. Everyone's just like, oh my gosh, what the fuck? Da, 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 da. And then like I looked at Shaq's face, and I've never seen someone like more happy to see me, but it looked like
save me vibes.
Like, yes, it looked like, oh my gosh,
thank
like,
God we're here together.
Like, and I thought, oh no, what have I got myself into? And then all the crew left was just like, yeah, nice to see you, blah blah, we got the thing, you guys just catch up. I was like, what's been happening, guys? And they're like, this has been the worst trip ever. Like, we're having to do 3 episodes a day. Like, we're filming 2 episodes for us, and every time we do an episode with like some sort of influencer, we have to do something for their channel. The only time we're eating is when we're doing an episode. So we have to wait, and then sometimes we're even eating like nonsense. So like, let's say there's an episode where like, oh, you guys are trying insects today. Like, that's your food for the day. Like, you are eating insects.
Listen,
like,
as a Uganda, we have this thing called insaniness, so that's not even the worst. But
what's that?
It's crickets. Delicious. Yeah.
Yeah, all of that stuff. Yeah, that's all crazy, running your belly and everything. Yeah, that
they're
thing,
dead, of course.
Yeah, I didn't think they were alive. Like, no, but they were like, there were just so many things that were going on. I was thinking, damn, like, I've actually like,
they finessed you.
I've actually been finessed, and they brought me in to kind of be like, oh, you're gonna have to save the show because everybody's energy is so down and everyone's so off. So like, we're doing episodes, and I'm thinking, brother, everyone is so switched off, and like, no one, and they're telling us like the night before, like, what we're doing in the morning. They'll be like, at 11 p.m. we're getting a message being like, oh, by the way, you got to do an episode with this person. You have to wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning, and you got to like hike up Runyon Canyon and then go down and like have their favorite brunch. And they're like coming up with shit on the top of their head, like, for us to do. There's no clear plan.
Shit.
They're just like, they're at night, they're thinking, what could we make them do in the morning? Be like, oh, maybe we get them to like go here and like try this with that person.
Okay, so mentally, how did that affect everyone there?
Oh, it was like, we were so like finished like by the time it got to like the last week. And to be fair, like the way we were treated, first of all, we're in this like quote unquote mansion, which was actually a party house, where the sewers were blocked because they were filled with it was filled with sewage and it had to be blocked off, so there was no ventilation there. Like the showers, the doors in the shower didn't work. There weren't enough beds. There was no heating in the place. Like it was absolutely like freezing. And I know it's LA, but it was a cold time in LA. And like I think I was sleeping in a blow up bed. Like there wasn't enough rooms. So
why didn't you guys do like an exposing Kyra
there was a video about it, but like there's so much to get into that we were just like, you know what, let's not even. It's just there's so much that we could get into. Basically, at the end of the LA trip, things started to go so badly that they stopped us filming, which is like, we could have stopped filming ages ago because we filmed about 36 episodes. Like, and it was annoying because like we saw the way that we were treated compared to the way that PAQ were treated. And of course, PAQ is a bigger show, but they came out to LA, filmed 7 episodes, like, but like all those episodes were completely planned of what they were doing. Whereas like we came, filmed 36 episodes and it was all just like up in the air. And then when they stayed, they knew exactly where they were staying. They each had a room. Like it was a nice house. They were all taken care of. Like, and they were all obviously fed and travel and everything supported. And then when we're out there, it's just like, oh, you guys kind of just like figure out. And we couldn't like just buy food like that by ourselves because we were all broke. So like there was like, oh, just invoice us like when you get back. So like all these things that we have to invoice for, but we're not getting the money straight away. We have to wait until we're back in London.
That's the shit thing with modeling as well.
Yeah, so it was just an absolute nightmare. And yeah, in the last week they stopped filming. And they flew the CEO, one of the CEOs of Kyra out to speak to us to have an intervention. And what they did is they split us up, like had separate conversations with each of us. So it was obviously
like a fucking police interrogation. Yeah.
It was me, Shaq, Tia and Scott. And Tia and Scott are white. Me and Shaq are obviously black. And then they took Tia and Scott and had a separate conversation with them. And we all before were just like, no, we're gonna say this, we're gonna say that, we're gonna stand our ground, and this is how we're gonna be. Listen, I saw Tia and Scott just like afterwards, just walking with them, just like, oh yeah, no, it wasn't that bad. It was all good. I'm thinking, raw, you man fell so quickly. Don't matter.
I'm so sorry.
Raw. And I was the third person to have a conversation, and they spoke to me, and I was also the youngest at the time because I was 18, and they said that I was like complained about everything and told them what like my issues were, and they basically said to me that like, I feel like the CEO guy said to me that like, you are like in control of everybody's like emotions in this group.
The morale, yeah.
Like, so when you're unhappy with something, everyone's unhappy with something. So I feel like you're quite manipulative and you made everybody feel this way.
Wow.
Like, so this is actually your fault. Now just like, how the hell, like, do you understand the situation that you put us in, and you're telling me this is my fault?
But see, this is the thing. This is a reoccurring thing that I have as an issue with this industry, though. Like, I'm always very concerned about complaining about shit because it's so quick for you to be the problem, for you to be the one that's labelled difficult to work with, for you to be the one that's too picky or a diva or a drama queen. Whereas if it's Elizabeth, a white Elizabeth, I know there's some black ones, but who then has a complaint, then it's, oh my God, I'm so sorry for making you feel uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I would be fucking fuming with Tia and Scott
for
not being our allies and using your whiteness to fucking protect us. Like, what the hell?
We were so fuming with them. And then Shaq had a conversation afterwards. And when he's just like, yo, I'm in a room, there's no heating, like the showers, like whatever. Like the boss said, like, you're not Beyonce. Like, deal with it. Like, and it's just like, I'm asking for basic things, like not even things that are just like in my normal house back in South, which is like, might even be a council house. Like, these things like heating, normal hot water and all these things are just like normal stuff, like food. And you're telling me like, you're not Beyonce, like this is disrespectful. And
even using Beyonce as a thing, right? Like, come on.
And then we had a whole conversation. We had to go for a breakfast with the guy afterwards when he came to LA, and we had to have like me and Shaq had to have a conversation with him.
And see, this is the thing that's so annoying, that it's just you and Shaq. And this is also what pisses me off when people are like, you're always speaking about race, Race permeates every fucking aspect of our lives. Like in this type of scenario, you two are made the difficult black bastards from South who have come and demanded all of these things. And them other two are so understanding and they are working cooperatively to get the job done. Like, that's fucking, I'd be so angry.
No, I was. And to be fair, like, I love Tia. Like, Tia's great. And she had her own complaints because, like...
no offense. I don't know you guys from nowhere, from Adam.
And they even ruined the part of Tia's life because Tia did a hot chip challenge and it ruined the inside of her stomach, where to the point where she can't eat any sort of spicy food. Like it burned like the lining of her stomach, so she can't eat any spicy food. She had to go to the hospital about like 4 times after that and have surgery done. Like, so there was a couple. There's like
Did she sue?
No, but she could have.
Oh.
And they were even like, they even showed her the episode where it happened, and they were like, oh, you were right. But obviously they were saying things very carefully so that they weren't liable for anything. Yeah. Like, oh yeah. Okay, I hope that all goes okay. Yeah. Anyway, we came back from LA and the trip was just like ended and it was a mess. And we could tell that the vibe was kind of just like off. We did a couple, I think we did like 3 episodes after that. We did a Billie Eilish episode. And then like our contract ran out. And we were just like, all right, cool. Are we going to renew or are we not? They said we're just going to stop filming. And we're thinking, okay, this show's probably going to get cancelled or something. And I said, okay, on June, I think it was like June 28th, we're going to tell you, we're going to give you guys a response. And we're like, cool. June 28th comes, we're just like, waiting, nothing. I messaged in the group, guys, any response to what's happening? Ed, blue tick. I'm thinking, raw. 2 weeks later, they come back and be like, we've got a brand deal that's coming for Schwartz. We're thinking that we want to get the gang back together and do this like 1 episode and then we'll reevaluate what we do with the show afterwards. I'm thinking, this seems a bit sketchy. Yeah. Like, what do you mean? Like, you haven't responded to us in how long after you said you were going to respond to us? Now you're just like, oh, sorry, let's meet up. Let's do this 1 episode. Like, our first brand deal with the thing. And we learned what the budget was. And I think the budget was about like 60K, right? And I'm thinking, okay, 60K, there's 6 of us. And the cost of producing the episode is probably going to be about like tops, like 20K. So there's 40K. And they came to us and they were like, all right, cool. We're going to pay you all like $2.5 grand or so. Like, I'm not gonna say any specific, like, I'm not saying a specific in case anyone decides to try and sue me. Yeah. But like, let's say it was around about that
roughly.
Approximately. And then we're just like, all right, cool. Could we see the contracts? And you're like, yeah, 100%. Go speak to this person. I was like, all right, cool. Went to speak to that person. Oh yeah, no, I'm not the person to speak to. Go speak to him.
The run around.
And just like, okay, went to speak to him. Oh no, go speak to her.
Oh my God.
She just said we should speak to you. Did she? I don't know why she would say that. Go speak to her.
Oh my God.
And it's a back, forth. And we're thinking we're getting fucked. And luckily we knew one of the editors in there and they told us like how much the episode cost. And they were like, yo, these guys have been like hiding money for time and be paying like us the minimum. Yeah. And this even happened and fell into PAQ because they ended up having to
get lawyers
involved for certain things. But let me not speak on their thing. Yeah. But like, anyway, we did the episode and got paid less than they agreed that we get paid. And then we all just took the money and the episode went well, whatever. And they tried to low-key sabotage the episode as well because it's supposed to be this street block party. And they were just like, oh, no, you can't invite anybody. It's like a very set guest list. We're going to bring in like a certain amount of people and specific people, whatever. And we're like, all right, cool. Who's in the list? And we're like, oh, no, we got a list. Don't worry. And then like all the way up until the day before, we were thinking, wow, like who's on this list? And they realized that they hadn't invited anyone. Oh, and we're just like, and then it was like, oh, by the way, you know what? We're just going to be an open invite, like invite whoever. It's just like,
the day before,
the thing, it's just like invite whoever now. So now we're trying to like scram for people to come, be like, yo, everyone come, pull up to this thing this time, blah, blah, blah. Obviously these people had plans and stuff like that. We still got a decent turnout, but obviously nowhere near the turnout if like it was an open invite from the beginning. And it was like, and they didn't really promote it. Anyway, we did the episode, and then I think a week later, when they said they were going to reevaluate and have a meeting and see what we're going to do with the rest of the show, we just got a text being like, the show's over. And they were just like, yeah, if you want to meet up for coffee and have a talk about it. And we all just typed low in the group and then just left. And that was the end of that. And to be fair, like, even though I was extremely mad and it affected people in different ways, I was going to step back and be like, I'm not going to get involved in talking about them or whatever. And then when we got in the pandemic and Black Lives Matter came, they tried to do this whole just like, we stand with black creators and and we were just like, hold on
wait a fucking minute.
Hold on a second. And that's when like a whole like sort of this girl who was on one of the other shows called Angel and the girls show Neighbor did this sort of Instagram live exposing Kyra, and I jumped on and Dex jumped on and it became a thing, and then they got kind of shut down, cancelled after that.
Yeah,
and
damn.
That was it. And then I had a bunch of people like trying to like, because there was a bunch of companies trying to take down Kyra, like Vice, and a couple people tried to like have conversations and meetings with me about it and with a bunch of us, and I turned down doing all of that stuff because like I don't want my whole thing to be
Kyra
taken down. Like I'm not on that. I'm just trying to do my shit.
Especially because it would like reflect worse on you.
Yeah, I'm just like, I know how it gets. Like just like this, I'm gonna look bitter. I'm gonna look whatever. Like I'm kind of over it. Like I just want to move forward. But it did like affect a lot of people afterwards. I still speak to like Helen, Damshak from time to time, and Tia. I don't see Jordan that much, and I don't speak to Scott. Yeah.
And afterwards, you feel like you needed time to get over it, or do you feel like you're like, nah, let me just put this behind me, take the L, charge it, keep going?
I definitely did need time to get over it, but I was already like working another job when I was doing that. I was working for Nike, so like my whole mindset just went straight back into that. I was just like, all right, cool, I'm just gonna go full in on this job now. Yeah. I can just sort of forget about that.
And I guess obviously you can't speak on other people's experience, but do you feel like you're one of the lucky ones where it didn't affect you as much as the others?
100%. Like I feel like there's some like obviously like Helen and Jordan, because they weren't in as many episodes, it didn't really affect them as much. I can't really speak for Jordan because I haven't spoken to him that much. And Helen was doing big modeling stuff before. Like Tia obviously she can't eat the same afterwards. Like I don't know about Scott. I don't chat to him. Shaq, it definitely affected a lot. Like a lot. And it's like it took him a while to sort of like deal and come and get over that, because like the show was basically his show and it was like based around him, and they just like they ruined like a lot of shit for him. And like so I know that the repercussions on that for him were like really, really like bad, but you know, it took him a while to get out of that. And I know that even now, like when I see certain people that are from the show, like I feel a little triggered, but it's still it is what it is at the end of the day. Like yeah, I don't really have any like bad feelings towards anyone.
Came out pretty unscathed.
Yeah, I'm kind of just like, it is what it is, man.
Yeah, would you, looking back at it, still go on it?
Yeah, I mean, like, I do have to think holistically and be like, it was something that changed my life. Like, because, I mean, I got into so many different rooms and met so many different people and got access to, like, I didn't really, you have to understand, I dropped out of sixth form and that was, like, my first job.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden,
how soon after was the gap?
Like, I dropped out of sixth form in, like, when do you finish, like, your school year? What, June, July?
Yeah.
Yeah, so at the end of the year, I stopped going and we started filming I started the audition process in like September, and I think I got the job and we started filming in October.
Yeah.
So it was
proper consistent. Yeah.
It was that period of time. It was like,
I guess it's a bit of a blessing to have like such a small gap. Like you enjoyed your summer and then you got straight to work, so you had something to at least show your parents, like, I'm not doing nothing.
Well, it took a while for the episodes to come out.
Okay.
So like for that time, it was very much just like, what are you doing? And I told them like, I'm on a show, and they were just like, yeah, right. And I was like, no, I'm on this cooking show thing. And they're like, where is it? I'm just like, it's not out yet. And they're thinking,
you're chatting shit.
Yeah, whatever. And I said, and I also got the job with Nike, and I was like, oh, I'm doing some work with Nike, and they're like, right, you dropped out of school and now you're working for Nike and on a cooking show, like whatever, man. And like, and because I couldn't show them anything from it, like it was very hard to like convince them that this was something I'm doing until I think it hit like, I think it was 6 months after I dropped out, I was able to finally like sit them down and be like,
look
here.
And how did they react?
And they're like, okay,
cool,
all right.
Like, oh, and then you said 6 months was how long you guys were talking, so I guess that did help.
And then after that, it was kind of just like okay, but I feel like there was a little bit of like resentment I had towards them for not like
making it as
believing
hard.
Me. Yeah, they felt like
same.
Yeah, they were like, you're gonna work in Tesco or Sainsbury's or something.
Same, even though I don't feel like I've made it or I've done anything like as like substantial as that, I definitely would be lying to say that I don't resent like my mom, my brothers, my family, whatever, for not getting what I'm doing now. Like, even last week I went to visit one of my cousins who's just had a baby, and she was like, Hayaat, you know what I'm gonna ask you? And I said, what? And she's like, do you have a job? And I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, they all think that I'm at home scratching my asshole in bed all day, doing nothing. And I was like, I explained to her, like, told her some of the brands I work for. She said, oh shit, okay, cool, like, why are they worried then? I said, bitch, you tell me. You tell me. Like, it's so annoying having to like, you're struggling about getting work and like putting yourself out there and all this shit that's outside of your comfort zone, but then also struggling to like prove to your parents that, hello, you haven't raised a fucking bum bitch, and I'm not doing nothing, just wasting away at home. They're never gonna watch this, but yeah, just so you know, there's a lot of harsh feelings towards that. And then when the check comes through, everyone now wants to, okay,
where's my present? Where's my side?
Anyway,
no, I had a lot, even during like when the pandemic hit, like, and I was just like, all right, cool. All right, you had your fun. I think now it's time to get a normal job. And I'm thinking, I'm still going to do my thing. Like, how are you going to make money? How are you going to figure it out? And I figured it out. And they were like, there was times where it was like there was one time where I had like a tough financial year. I think that was 2019 when I like stopped working for Nike. Obviously, Canteen was over. And I'm just like, okay, I am starting my own company for the first time ever. I don't know how to do this. I don't know what I'm doing. And like, I had so much financial loss. And I was just like, this is the brokest I've ever been since like before I started getting money. And I was thinking, what am I gonna do? And I was also in a relationship which was just like being broken in a relationship is long.
It's not a good idea.
Oh my
gosh. I don't know why you did that, but yeah.
It is so long. But anyway, that year was tough, and they was like pressuring me, just like, yo, just apply for this. They were sending me like places to apply for. And I'm just like, trust me, I'm not doing this, and it's gonna work out. And it did.
It did. But the thing is, my mum has slandered me as a bum so often. I was walking through the shops yesterday, like just my local Tesco, and obviously your corner shop drip is never your best work.
Is this your best work? Yeah. All right. Carry on. No, go on, because I was just asking. I was just so people know, just setting a precedent of like,
so
you know.
These don't know that I'm normally in leggings or a tracksuit. Yeah. I've worn jeans for you.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's
a big thing.
That's a big
my
one.
best work, but still a big thing. I'd appreciate if you could acknowledge that.
No, like I've acknowledged that you've worn jeans. Where are these from?
Primark.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Best work. Amazing stuff. Yeah.
I didn't say it's my best, but anyway. So the neighbour stops me. She's like, Hayaat, do you have a job? Like, when are you going to get a job? I said, bitch. Meanwhile,
the neighbour,
your son is bunning suits in the garden the night time. Yeah, I see it all every day, but it's me. I'm like, my neighbour, like, you sounded me this much. So I just know damn well that my mum is going around to me and be like, this girl, she doesn't want to work. I had a call from my aunt in Sweden, be like, you need to get a job. I was like, everybody needs to get off my dick. Get off my dick. Because then, anyway, I'm.
Is this why you're so pressed, like in life generally?
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to grab you.
I am.
Yeah.
I am. If I had the support, maybe I'll be a happier babe. No, do you know what? That's actually not true. I'm a very happy babe, but I'll be a less aggressive babe. There you go. Actually, no, I don't even like that because this fits with their agenda.
The aggressive black woman.
Yeah. Can I just
and
say?
You're not that.
Yes, exactly.
You're just like slightly tormented.
Do you know what? Maybe you were oppressing me.
I'm oppressing you.
The way Kyra oppressed you.
Oh,
yeah, it's all come full circle.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I see it.
Moving swiftly on to wrap
Moose.
this episode up. Anyway, I like to end an episode with either two things. You normally, like, okay, these are again failed episode titles.
Okay.
So The Herd Way, like sheep, herd, hard, haha, pun, and Never That Deep. Don't look at you're not in the office. You're not breaking the 4-4 right now, okay? So The Herd Way, I feel like we've already established yours, which was dropping out of uni with no plan. Yeah. Sorry, not uni, sixth form even, with no plan, only season your AS. That seems like it was a pretty hard, out of the pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't follow the crowd with that one.
No.
Cool. What would you say your Never That Deep is? And by Never That Deep, is something that you look back on, you're like, I was bugging about this. I was thinking that it was way bigger of an issue than it was. It was way more important than it was. I used to cringe about it, whatever it was. But now you've looked back and you're like, this actually wasn't that deep. And it was a minor. What was yours?
I think the thing that wasn't that deep was, like, this might sound silly, but like becoming an adult or like turning 20. Like when I turned 21, I thought like, or even when I turned 20, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is it. Like anything I do now is no one's gonna care about, and it's not gonna be important because I'm not the young kid doing it. Yeah. Like when I was like 18 doing stuff, it's just like, oh, you're so sick because you're 18 and doing it. I was like, when I'm 20 and 21, no one's gonna care that I'm doing this stuff. It's just like, oh, you're supposed to do this stuff now. You're like an adult. And I put so much pressure on myself to achieve so many things before I hit 20, and like I told myself I was gonna win an Oscar before I hit 20. I was like, this is the goal. Like, and if I don't get this, then I failed. Yeah. And I was just like, and I see a lot of young people just like think that like, yo, when I hit 20, 21, like it's all over. Like it's like da-da-da, and it's definitely not that deep.
For you, where do you feel like that pressure came from though? Do you think it's because the industry was always praising you for being young and doing this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was everyone was just like, oh, you're so young, you're doing this stuff, and it's so cool. And then I hit 20 and people still said you're so young. Yeah. And then like, I'm 23 now and people are like, you're still so young. And it's not even about a being young thing. It's just that like, I mean, if you're doing cool stuff, you're doing cool stuff no matter how old you are. Like there's so many actors and like directors and all these different people in different professions who are doing amazing stuff like later on in their lives or like in their mid-30s or still figuring it out. And like, it's okay. You have time to figure it out. A lot of people have said like your 20s is for figuring it out.
Figuring it out, yeah.
And it really is. And you can still try and figure it out in your 30s. Like there's no time limit on like figuring it out. But like I would never try and like conform early just to something because you feel like you only have a certain amount of time to achieve something. And like you can pick up whatever, whenever. Like even the other day I was thinking maybe I should just learn how to play the saxophone. You know, like why not?
How about you go back to learning Spanish? I feel like that would be a lot more beneficial. Okay, so I have a final question though. Do you feel like, because I feel like men in particular, I had a friend Albert who came on this, had a similar sentiment.
Yeah, go and generalize us.
I was about to make excuses for you guys, you see. So no, I genuinely feel like there's like men may have more of that pressure because society puts the whole provider, this and that role on you guys a lot earlier than they do for women.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that played a part in you thinking, I need to get this shit figured out a lot faster? Because women, I haven't really heard say that in the same way or as much.
In a sense, I mean, like I've always been pretty independent. So like, as I said, I've been like, I had a job from like 16 and I was like making my own money. I didn't ask my parents for money since I was like 16. So a part of me was just like, all right, cool, I'm fine, like enough financially. I was still broke like a certain amount of times, but like I was just like, I'll figure it out. I'm not necessarily having to provide for anyone except for me. As long as I'm sorted, like I'm good. It's only when I started getting into relationships, so I was just like, I gotta get my money up. Like I gotta start, because all of this stuff is expensive. You know how expensive relationships are?
Why?
Fam.
Why?
Date nights. Oh my Lord.
Where are you taking them?
You want to be trying out this new place, this, that. I'm thinking, brother, like, this is expensivo, fam. You see the Spanish thing? Yeah.
Muy caro,
muy caro.
Yeah,
Exactly. You can say
See,
expensivo. You can say expensivo.
Since when?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, you Google that, man.
I will, actually, and I'll get back
muy
to that.
caro,
if
man.
you have any Spanish speakers, and let him know that he's wrong.
This is demasiado.
No.
Yeah, it's demasiado, man. Like, it's too much. And that's when I started feeling pressure. I never felt pressure in life to.
Do you think that's the type of women you go for?
What, women that like money?
Yeah.
No, I just feel like I'm someone who likes to treat my women. And like, I don't know about the niggas you be with. But like, I'm someone who likes to treat my women. So like, if I am doing stuff, it's not necessarily all financially like things, but like, I like to plan interesting, fun dates and stuff like that and things to do. And sometimes I'm spontaneous. Sometimes I'll be like, let's fly out somewhere. Like, you know, let's do this, let's do that. That's looking mad. I did the first day trip to Milan.
Really?
Yeah.
Someone tries to find me out for a first date, but I thought, what if you harvest my organs and sell them on the black
market? But if it's a day trip, it's like a...
Yeah, maybe I'll circle back to that.
You know, it's just like go in the morning, come back in the evening. Like, there's no pressure for anything. You don't have to stay anywhere with me. It's just like we're exploring somewhere new.
Yeah, fair.
Like, and we're just doing a thing. So like, I'm someone who likes to go out there a little bit with like what I do. And I'm a foodie. I like to go to certain places. I just like to know that like the plans can change at any moment, and I'm not thinking, brother, my pocket's hurting.
Yeah.
And luckily now I'm in a position where like my pocket really hurts.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so I'm never. That's why I'm bearing it, you know.
Okay, yeah. All right. Yeah. Wow, I feel like that was a good place to leave it.
Yeah.
I feel like you promoted yourself well.
Is this what this was? Me promoting myself?
Now all the bitches are going to be in your line.
Okay. Yeah. This is what the Sugarcoaters are going to come for.
They're all going to come. They're going to want a bit of your sugar.
Okay. Yeah, because I've been waiting for you to.
They're going to... See, I've just plugged you. They're all going to shout you. Yeah. Listen, say your at. So they can
come on, Caleb Kumiko, man. Find me,
man.
Spell it. At CALEBKUMIKO.
You're not going to add a wink?
Nah, I'm not.
I feel like I said that you could have really
did. Yeah, it's a bit moist, but they know, you know what I'm saying. You heard the voice.
Okay, well, as I've said, that's Caleb. That's his at. This is the end of the episode. I feel like I didn't end that as smooth as I have normally another time. I
don't know how you end it normally, but like,
yeah, well, follow my Insta, follow the Sugarcoat Insta.
You want to spell yours? Or they know?
They should know by now, but if you don't know, HAYAAT_NK. Follow the Sugarcoat TikTok, the podcast, Twitter, and the Instagram page. Thank you for listening.